Okay, so we are going to look at Uncharted Golden Abyss for the PlayStation Vita. Again, setting it up here. Got Brad, got Patrick. I have finished this game, so we're gonna jump in and I guess just kind of pick a random chapter. Black Market there is this game's near functionality. You can exchange items that you find. Like, they're basically drops off the enemies. So sometimes they will drop rare cards or gold coins or stuff like that, and then you can share those as game goods up on the server. And then the idea is that you're trying to complete this collection, and you need other players to help you do that.
So can you access that near stuff if you don't have the cart in there? So is that something you can be doing?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if someone sends you an Uncharted game good, if you stumble upon an Uncharted game good, that will show up and you can download it.
But you can't manipulate your own stuff.
You can't manipulate your own stuff. And I guess this is something that wasn't in the Japanese release. That near stuff is being patched in after the fact. All right, so a lot of stuff in this game is touch only. Like the menu here, like there's some inconsistency across games as to what you can do with what.
And also, there's not a really good way, or at least not yet, for the game to communicate that to you. Like, maybe if there was an icon, maybe that's a little, you know.
Or it seems like, I mean, Uncharted especially, a lot of it is built around offering alternatives for.
Do it whatever way you want.
Yeah, yeah. Like you can use touch, you can not use touch, but at the same time, like that's it's weird that that's not really an option here. Why don't we we'll start real early here? I think I don't want to go too deep into the game. There's gonna be some climbing stuff into some shooting stuff. That'll probably show what we need to show.
I kind of just want to see this game's rendition of a burning building.
Yeah.
All right. Just a pretty clear frame of reference for that.
Yeah, you're going to compare anything from the last Uncharted game to this one.
This game, you know, it's not bad, but it doesn't really feel like an Uncharted game. Like the scope is missing. Like they didn't really capture. You know, there's no big cinematic set piece. There's no train fight. There's no falling out of the back of an airplane.
A lot of shooting, a lot of jumping, a lot of
jumping, and a lot of touching. But not a lot of the bigger stuff, and it's unfortunate because you know, that stuff is so key to the Uncharted experience.
Yeah, the set pieces are, you know, sometimes for better, sometimes for worse, like the underpinnings of that game.
And without it, you know, it just feels like it's missing a lot of stuff. This is set before the first game. The events are pretty self-contained. It's not really.
Smoke? Great. Just pile it on. I can take it.
So at this point in the story, Nathan Drake has been captured by a dictator. And we need to do some climbing. So you see the areas you can climb on actually shimmer a little bit. And I can just run up and just hit X and just play this like Uncharted. But I can also touch the screen and just swipe along this stuff and he will go.
Which I guess is why the Shining is there, so that you know what to touch.
Right, yeah.
But that is not something, if you, say, wanted to disable it, you could?
No, you just don't have, no, you can't disable the Shining. That's, the Shining is always there. Here's another thing the game does a lot. It has a lot of these bars, and it pops up this tilt minigame here. This is not fun. It's just.
It wasn't fun in Uncharted 1, which is why they got rid of it.
And I wonder, like, on some level, if the developers were thinking, like, you know, this takes place before Uncharted 1, so let's try to bring it back to Uncharted 1. And that's why that stuff's in there, and you know, you get these kind of like cinematic or you know, like quick time event boss fight type deals.
Right, which was a thing in the first one that was quickly gotten rid of.
Right, yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that wasn't there in 2 and 3 is kind of in this one, and
oh crap, I gotta go.
That's a strange choice, let's say.
And it's tough because it's a launch game, so you're unsure whether that's Sony saying, hey, we need to use all parts of this device, or is this harkening back to the first game and saying, well, we can do it better this time.
I think a lot of the stuff is some mandate or some desire to try and use every part of the device, because when you walk up to something like this, you get the machete icon shows up, and this is normally bamboo, but here it's going to be this thing. So we touch the knife icon, and then we have to swipe in these directions and get it right before he will.
What if you get it wrong? Does he just get frustrated?
I think he does eventually just slash it anyway.
Can't figure out how to swing knives.
It takes a pretty long time.
But in that situation where that's the only way you can do it.
That is the only way you can do it. There's no other option there for that. So.
Is that happening all the time? Like, how often are
pretty often?
Are your
there's stuff
regular?
Like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of the hidden objects that you find and pick up work that way as well. You'll find a lot of. The glow is actually useful because some of these things get lost. It's helpful to have some shimmery surfaces to cling to here. There are also, like, when you find a lot of hidden stuff, you'll do charcoal etchings, and you'll find a dirty human skull that you gotta rub the screen to do the etching, or rub the screen to clean the skull up, and it's
light
silly.
stuff.
It's silly. It's a lot of stuff that just seems like unnecessary touchscreen junk in there. That doesn't help the game. It breaks the pacing. It makes a lot of the game feel like a mini game collection or some kind of like. It's a lot of stuff that even iPhone developers have kind of realized, like, okay, this is not the thing. This is not how we're going to differentiate our game from others. So I can actually just tap this and he'll make the jump. But I could have run to the edge and hit X as well. I think the tapping the screen to climb is okay, like painting the screen and doing that stuff. It's just, but it's not like the climbing in an Uncharted game has ever been difficult. So it's
inoffensive, like it's there.
Yeah,
why
it's there.
Why would you use
if you
it?
want, but you don't really need to. In cases, if you are a person that has trouble lining up these jumps, like it is useful for that. Where am I going? Okay. Oh, right.
I'm out of here.
He is out of here.
Fat Mac wants to know, where's Sully?
Sully shows up.
He's in this game?
Yeah.
You okay?
You see some Sully.
I'm fine.
You hear some Sully in the black market when you're clicking on a lot of the items that you're finding and stuff. He's like, because
Yeah, you could say that.
make a fortune.
So what happened at the dig site? The last thing I remember, I was beating up the butt of Guerro's pistol with my face. Oh. Looks like you tried the same stunt.
It's nothing. Guerrero took me to his office.
So even though this takes place as a prequel, is there anything you got out of it? Like, even if the game's not the best Uncharted game, is there a story reason? Do you learn anything else about the characters that would be insightful?
Not really. No,
Okay.
it's not really about that. It kind of tries to scratch some of the same itches. The relationship between Drake and Sully and kind of their interplay is well done. But mainly it's three other characters. There's Marissa Chase here, Jason Dante, who's kind of a greedy treasure hunter, and this Guerrero guy they're talking about is an ex-general trying to start a revolution. And the story ties into the Seven Cities of Gold. Like that's the myth they're using in this spot. Kind of ties in a few real life things and then kind of takes it in a what if direction from there. No blue dudes.
No blue. Is there another supernatural hook at the end of it as with the other game? No.
Who's the famous explorer of the week?
It is. Geez.
I'll take that.
So melee kills with the screen. I could have actually tapped him, or tapped the icon on the screen there that I hit. I almost just started a fight because I wasn't paying attention there. A lot of this stuff, a lot of boosts. Marissa needs help climbing or lifting stuff, and we're going to do it right here with the touch screen.
Here, hold it up. You slide under.
I guess this just replaces tapping X or B or
yeah.
or something that equivalent.
Guerrero's thugs.
So we'll roll up on this dude and tap him.
What's going on up there?
This is what's going on up there.
Jorge.
Left and right on the D-pad to manage weapons, but I only have one right now.
There's a ladder.
Left trigger, right trigger for aiming and shooting.
All right, I'll help you up.
A lot of this stuff.
Ready?
A lot of this.
I say it seems to be the touch stuff is happening a lot, which is probably what
I'll find a rope or
colors the
something.
impression of it a bit. It's not just, hey, here's 1 or 2 instances
Right.
where we use it.
It happens pretty often.
This is fundamental to sort
It's
of
a
the
lot of
design.
stuff that happens, pretty frequently. And can I tap and bring this stuff out? Maybe not. Hoping we can find a camera spot so I can take a picture or maybe find a charcoal etching. I think this is a camera spot, but maybe I already took this picture though. So when you get into the spots like this, a camera icon will appear, and you'll go into first person, have to aim a shot and line it up, and take it just right. It's like sort of like the Batman thing where you're trying to find specific things to take pictures of. Only it tells you when you're standing in the exact right spot, and then shows you the picture you're trying to get. and the zoom level that you need to be at to take that
Where's
picture.
Wayne?
And if you don't take that picture almost exactly right, like it'll come up and say, you only got 95%, you need to do it again, which is insane. Oh, geez. So even without the stealth stuff, you can still do melee attacks like this, and then there'll be swipes to kind of avoid attacks and finish the sequence. I gotta take cover. That's not how you take cover.
I'll flush him out.
You can tap the weapon up here to reload.
That's useful.
Yeah.
Like that is actually perhaps a good use of the.
Yeah, I found myself doing that more than
Take that, gringo.
a lot of the other touch stuff here. So oh wait, actually you need to pick up that shotgun. So I can tap the shotgun there to pick it up.
I got him.
Wait, where is this guy? Is he up top? Oh, he's
Is he behind you?
yeah.
Yep.
That's a grenade.
That's bad. Apparently he threw it poorly, or she threw it.
Come
Something.
on, over here.
Hey, what's up, man? He's not doing real good. All right.
So how's the shooting feel in this? Because that's some of the initial impressions I was hearing out of Japan was that, especially the shooting just felt off.
It does feel off. So I ended up enabling one of the options here. So in the control section, you can do a lot with aiming. I ended up turning auto aiming on, which actually is not auto aiming in the kind of traditional sense. It's more like it turns on that Call of Duty style snap to target stuff. And I found that to
kind of compensate.
for that stuff. The analog stick it feels fine for most tasks, but I found aiming to be just feel a little off.
Just not enough precision.
Yeah, it was hard to draw a bead and get those headshots. So
It looks a little sluggish.
yeah, it is a little sluggish. And with the auto aiming turned on, it was able to just snap right to the target, which makes you able to just quick scope anybody with a sniper rifle. So it's a little unfair with that, but
Stay where you are. Get down, stay out of sight. I'll
it takes
find a way
care
to
of
get to
business.
I'll keep an eye out for patrols.
you. Let's hope you don't find any.
I know we have a line out in this thing right now, but
Yeah.
MB246 wants to know how the built-in speaker is in terms of the quality and volume.
It's
and stuff.
acceptable. It's not going to be the best bass response in the world, but it sounds good enough for a portable system speaker. So it's better than like the iPhone speaker, for example. Oh, geez, walked into fire and then died. Weird how that happens.
That's a very deadly fire.
It is, yeah. Having trouble remembering where it is I need to go. No, that's a wire fence there. But can I even? No, I guess I can't even go that way. That's the way I came, isn't it? Great. I've been talking all this time and now I'm lost.
Shine on.
Right.
Does this game have the traditional like Naughty Dog extra stuff that they took it out of 3, and a lot of people were disappointed by that. In terms of just like weird little trinkets like big head mode and other unlockable stuff.
Not that I've seen, but I didn't actually finish any of the mysteries, so it's possible that could get you sort of bonus items there. But I'm trying to. Okay, if I hit the select button, I can bring this stuff out. We can bring up the journal here. And
So in order to bring up the touch menu stuff, you have to hit select.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Making sure I got that right.
Yeah, so there are a lot of hidden things that you can find here, and these will all be part of various mysteries, they call them. So to get a trophy for completing poisoned powder, there are 10 things I need to do, and some of them are finding these objects that have been grayed out, like this ledger here, or is there a... Yeah, or taking these photos. That's that photo I was talking about earlier. I took that sweet
picture of a crock pot?
Yeah, to prove that he's making drugs. And we can go back here. There's tutorials and kind of various clues for some of the puzzles in the game. So I won't show a lot of that stuff because they're the puzzles in the game. What else here?
So are those? It's showing the black market stuff. Is that informing you? Hey, if you want to participate in this
Right,
near
yeah,
stuff,
this
here are
is
things
just-
to look for.
No, it's
Oh,
basically
okay.
saying like, hey, launch the black market
okay.
to see. So this is what I've collected so far on the pieces of silver portion of the black market, and I can you know, see that these are just random drops from enemies, I guess, in a lot of cases. And kind of see what I've collected. There are trophies associated with collecting all of this stuff. So you kind of have to use Nier to get a hold of that business. There's just a ton of little stuff to collect, and then a lot of it, you know, comes with charcoal etchings and other touchscreen weird stuff that you have to do, which is sort of silly. Fortunes here, so yeah, jade carvings and turquoise glyphs are just, you know, things you find along the way. The bounties are things that drop from enemies.
I increasingly like the idea of Nier, even if its implementation seems early.
Yeah,
it's a really good idea.
It's a neat thing. That yeah, the menus and stuff, just the way the information is presented could be a lot tighter. I think you could say that a lot about the Vita's kind of front end menu and stuff like that. Like a lot of that stuff could be cleaner and presented better. But
like, you know, there are going to be folders. That's going to come eventually.
Yeah. So that's kind of a quick moment of like, oh god, I got to swipe the screen, otherwise I'm going to fall.
A lot of people asking how the frame rate in this game is in person, since it's kind of hard to tell on the stream.
It is okay. When the game later on in the game, you were presented with some larger areas, and the frame rate there is less stable. And it's unfortunate, you know, kind of, you know, when you're shooting people and all that sort of stuff, like you notice the frame rate hitching up and not being stable. But for the most part, for most of the game, it's about like this, which I think on the stream is probably
get us killed.
Well, on our feed here, which is not the stream.
But if you don't want me to warn you,
pretty accurate. But yeah, the frame rate is. Yeah, it's not stable through the entire game, and that's too bad. But for the most part, it's totally acceptable. But you know, it's one of those things where we think of Uncharted as just this, you know, kind of technical mastery situation where you know it's really okay. So here's the situation. I've already wiped this object clean, but in this case, it lets you know real quickly that like, hey, your fingers are on the back touch. So I use the rear touch to spin the item, and then have to use my finger to rub all the dirt off this thing. And then
rubbed all that dirt.
Yeah, I already rubbed all this dirt off and saw Vincent Perez. That's my bonus secret. Oh yeah, check mark. And then that's part of the trail of Vincent Perez. You see, I've found a lot of this stuff here. His little card here.
Are these actually performing the story?
I had to clean this card off. It's not stuff that is absolutely 100% key to the story. There will be some dialogue associated with some of the objects that you find.
Look, they're down there.
But not every single one is key. You know, the stuff's pretty self-contained when it needs to be. So you see there, it just aimed right in on that guy because of the auto-aiming.
I got a surprise for you.
That is a surprise, friend. With any luck, I can find a spot where I get some grenades, because the touchscreen grenade throwing I thought was actually pretty good.
You can't hide from me.
It actually just shows a grenade icon on the lower right part of the screen, and then you can just tap it to throw something at the center of the screen, or if you hold, you can actually drag grenades out, and you get the little on-screen indicator, like drag the grenade where you want it to go.
Oh, you can do the trajectory.
And then he'll shoot. He'll toss the grenade exactly where you drag, which is, I'm going to say, probably the best that grenade throwing has been in any Uncharted game. Which
the Golden Abyss has got that going for it.
Yeah, which I've always found to be kind of credible.
I flush him out. Hello.
And as always, the best way to tell a guy's dead is when his flashing gun drops out of his falling body.
Easy.
Come on, over here.
Need to just reload in here.
Biomajor 09, are the enemies bullet sponges like previous games?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Headshots are ideal.
Hey, let's have it this way.
that's how I dealt with the situation. But there are some heavies that can withstand a headshot.
You! What are you doing?
There's no tapping head to headshot, right?
No, no.
Admiring the view, huh?
No, sir.
Just standing
This is
around
Guerrero,
while the
one of
rest
the heavies in the
compound
game.
burns to the ground.
No, sir.
I think we can
was
wrap it
looking
up
for the girl.
after this cutscene.
Round up
So,
some men and put
fair amount of
out
cutscenes in
those
the game.
fires.
You know, kind
Yes,
of
sir.
what you would expect from
Must
an Uncharted
give
sort of story.
orders for everything.
But it's, you know, the writing's not as sharp.
Get your hands
It's
off
not
me.
as
You know how much this shirt costs?
vital. That's Jinx and
Senor.
Dante,
I think it's time we
another one of
finished our
the key characters here.
talk.
Well, I think it's interesting, you know, reading your review where, you know, if there was any series on the PS3 that shows off the PS3 being a slightly more powerful console, like it is the Uncharted series,
Right.
and the spectacle and the set pieces, and even though it's incredibly impressive to see a handheld running, you know, an Uncharted, it comes off as Uncharted-ish.
At least we
Right.
did
It's
something.
it's there,
It's
but
missing just
not
enough.
far enough that it kind of
Yeah, and
it
it's,
misses a little bit.
It's famous for the.
And it's one of those things where, you know, it's a $50 game. You know,
You're asking basically what you would pay for the for a PS3 one, like
exactly.
$10
And
under.
it's, you know, it's hard to compete with Uncharted 2 and Uncharted
This is gonna
3
be chrome with this
with
you get
something like
through?
this that's
Warehouse.
missing a lot of the
Brings
elements
the
that made
license
those two games so outstanding. And in a lot of cases, replacing those things with a bunch of
See if I can take care of some
touchscreen
of these guys
stuff
quietly.
that just kind of, at some point, it just becomes like some weird photo hunt or something like that. And it's unfortunate, but it is still a decent game. I mean, you know, if you're buying a Vita and you're looking for games, like, you know, you're not going to hate this game by any means. It's just not all that impressive in the grand scheme of things, and kind of a letdown. It's you know, disappointing in some ways here. And I think that's going to do it. That's Uncharted Golden Abyss. Reviews up on the site. The game's available now, whether you want to download it over the store and save a little bit of money, or go buy it at retail because you like these crazy cool cases. The option's pretty much up to you. It is available now.
It's gonna blow!